Welcome to Life, Death, and the Law, presented by the law firm of Deason, Garner, and Hansen, hosted by attorneys Shawn Garner and Adam Hansen.
Shawn and I went back to Boston, what was it, like a month and a half ago?
Yeah.
2 months ago. And when we did that, we did a little tour. And I was really looking or seeking to understand more of why the Puritans came originally, because we went to Boston, so that's kind of where it all happened. The ignition, I guess, of the whole fight.
Yeah, they call it the cradle, right, of the revolution.
And I'm curious we never really talked about it. We did cursory, Shawn, but I was interested to know what was your take on all that when we went through that tour. Did you learn anything? Did anything stick out to you as far as the birth of our nation and the Puritans coming into the Massachusetts Bay area and then into Boston?
Yeah, one thing that stood out to me quite a bit, first of all, Boston was very clean. And I've been to some other big cities, and they aren't as clean, Philadelphia being one of them. Philadelphia was disappointing in how many homeless people and how much was just on the streets. Now, not at the national monuments, Benjamin Franklin's grave and the Liberty Bell and those types of things.
The Rocky statue.
Independence Hall, Rocky statue, yeah. But for the most part, like the inner city, it was pretty dirty, but not Boston. Boston was clean. Boston was very, very clean. Even on a small city standard, it was clean, but it's a big city. And just the way all the monuments are lined up and what do they call it, Independence Trail?
The Freedom Trail is
Freedom
what they call
Trail
it.
that you walk along. It was inspiring to learn about how many brilliant minds were culminated there in one spot. I think the thing that turned out, or that really stood out to me the most, was the fact that the King of England was trying to reconcile with the Americans, with the people in America, and allowing them some sense of self-governance where they got to call the shots essentially for what was happening over here in America, but not with the taxation, right? And so a lot of the taxes and restrictions that were put on the Americans had been repealed recently, but there was one sticking point, and everybody knows about this, and that was the tax on the tea. And it was a pretty minor tax, but the Americans at that point, even though they had a higher standard of living, and a lot of people don't understand this, they had a higher standard of living than those living in Europe and specifically England, they did not want to stand for that because they felt that it was their divine destiny to become independent. And they wanted to not only demonstrate for themselves, but they reference many times the millions of unborn to come, that they have freedom and these rights are bestowed by God and not the king. And this was a sticking point for them. And so they took that tea, right, they threw it into the harbor, and they could have continued to live very comfortable, affluent lives, but they decided not to, and they knew that their lives probably for the most part was going to become more difficult and maybe end as this act of defiance. But they did it for the millions of unborn, meaning us. And I think we owe a great debt of gratitude, and 4th of July is a great opportunity to demonstrate that.
If you have questions or want to know more about something that was discussed today, please call the law firm of Deason, Garner, and Hansen at 928-783-4575 or visit yumaestateplanning.com.